guys? It's your boy Carlos Imani. We're back again with another episode of Elite Insights. And today, I have the pleasure of being joined by Sister Yolanda, who is currently working with Urban Impact. I'll let her talk about what we've been doing and some of the awesome things. But Yolanda, I always like to kick off with like the journey of what got you to this seat. I'd love to hear about, both of us go back in Seattle many years and have hearing about each other in many years, and we finally got to work to each other. But I always love to hear about what was your first like memory of Elite Collective or Carlos Imani, and just kind of let's kind of go down that journey of what led you here.
Yes, well, I'm born and raised in Seattle
Come
too.
on.
Have that blessing.
206.
Yes, all day. And I feel like we knew about each other before we even got the chance to meet, because I came back to Seattle for a couple years to do grad school. I fell in love with storytelling. I had to get to I was in corporate for a while, definitely that 90-hour grind. And I learned a lot and I saw what I was capable of, but I knew I needed to take another step. So I was like, what is at the core of Yolanda? What speaks to me? And that was storytelling. So I returned to Seattle after being gone for 6-7 years. And I did 2 grad school programs and part of a doctorate. So I finished a couple degrees, and it was all around storytelling, digital media storytelling, communities and networks. And as I started to grow into that field, I started hearing your name. And I also I think the thing about Seattle is you got hella mutuals without even realizing it. Like, we got mutual family and friends.
Like they say, seven degrees away. Seattle's like 3.
Yes, literally 3 degrees of separation for real. But I remember I started taking some of the work that I was learning in the classroom and applying it to community. How can I help you storytell for your business? How can I help you get to the core of what your brand is and who your audience is? And every time I took a step in different spaces of community, the response was, oh, do you know Carlos? Do you know Carlos Imani? And then, of course, some of the people that I just look up to, artists that I love and appreciate so much, look up to you and really consider you an artist, a trailblazing artist in your craft. And you got some lanes to you. So it's been a pleasure to get to work with you guys this year and not just know about each other and our, genius, but really put it together and make an explosive collaboration.
That's dope. It's very similar on my end, where a lot of times, just kind of going through with like, hey, do you know Yolanda? Have you met Yolanda? Have you worked with Yolanda yet? And I was like,
okay.
I haven't had the pleasure yet. I keep on hearing it, so I know it's bound to happen.
Yes.
And a lot of times we just kind of get caught up with, all right, what's tomorrow's event, or what's this next check or this next project going to be, and don't allow time to allow things to blossom, right?
Yeah,
and
that damn calendar.
Really, come on. And it's like, we got to plant these seeds so that they can grow, and you got to nurture
Yes.
things.
Yep.
Because really big on a lot of stuff that we currently do, and even those grinds are from relationships that were already built and nurtured. And it's just one of those things where you have to create space, because with all things, right, it's just things grow and things change and all those kinds of things. But if you're not planting your seeds and helping to nurture that next thing, at some point you're going to be left with a barren landscape, and you're just going to be like, oh man, I just been grinding and I haven't been nurturing. So we just had an awesome opportunity. I think we first got to be in that professional setting was MLK this year, right? Where we're just kind of like,
sure.
hey, what's up? We know we've been meaning to talk. We will talk soon. And that's the MLK Prayer Breakfast that Urban Impact stewards, and we had the pleasure of producing every year.
What was dope is it was an introduction, but also we're overdue at the same time.
Right.
Like, we finally got together, but we 10 conversations behind, and we needed to catch up. And I think what I really align with you on is that sometimes, even in the work we're doing with community, our talents are unfolding in front of us because what we're doing for people. So I see you in the same way, like you're solving problems for people. Your brand needs to be seen. Your story needs to be told. You're creating solutions for people in that. And for me, it's like people have ideas. They want to take entrepreneurship to the next level. I got solutions for you. So it's dope to see how we're using our skills to support our community.
No, absolutely. And actually led into my next question of what inspired you and Urban Impact to build that kind of event for a community. We know that, and what we're talking about is the Shark pitch competition around entrepreneurship. You're at economic development. You're in this new role. I know they've been doing a Shark type competition thing for some years, but now it's your chance to make it your own. So tell me a little bit about the importance. What drew you, one, to Urban Impact to be able to do this work, and then be able to just make it your own, and what we were ended up with.
Yeah. You know, that pitch competition was my love letter to my city, especially for entrepreneurs. Like, I started my entrepreneurship journey in grad school, and Urban Impact was the accelerator that I first got involved in. It was,
So former student.
yeah, I was. And
love that.
I went through that whole program, and at the same time, I was doing Oculus Launchpad. So it was kind of dope because I was like, no, if I'm going to be the only one in one setting where it's all tech and I'm not even from this and I just have a vision, but none of these people's background or experience, I'm going to need to couple that with something from community to keep me balanced, keep me anchored.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be hearing the things I need to
Have
hear.
that tether.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm the only one over here, but I'm all up in community over here. And I'm definitely a part of that balance in every area of my life. But I did at that time it was called the Sharks at the Beach pitch competition through that accelerator, and I won. And it was amazing.
Come on now.
Both of
Come
my
on now.
daughters.
I won. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, yes, thank you.
Give yourself
Yes.
some props for that one.
It was amazing because both of my daughters were sitting next to me when I was doing the pitch competition.
powerful.
Ours
It's
was
like, it can be
virtual.
done.
Yes, my youngest actually, we couldn't leave and go anywhere for a while because she was in the ICU due to COVID. So I had to do everything virtual for that entire year. And so in the pitch competition, she's sitting on one side of me, my older daughter's sitting on one side of me. We pitched together, and I've been practicing with them, so they're mouthing it while I'm pitching it. And then when we won, I mean, my whole house just exploded. It wasn't just a Yolanda won a pitch competition. It was a huge family moment for us both. And I think for all of us, it gave us the permission to say, yeah, we actually can do something in this space. We can build this. My girls have been a part of my whole entrepreneur journey. A lot of people don't know that. But so Seattle was a very difficult place to start entrepreneurship. I got to be real. Like, that's why this is my love letter to this city and all the entrepreneurs. I know how many times you hear no in this city. I know how little they think of us and what we deserve and what we're worthy of in the entrepreneur space. It doesn't help to hear the numbers, the 0.3s, the ones, the less than 2%. Like, that's a daily reality for some people. It's more than just a number. It literally means you could be the most brilliant. You could be living in your excellence and genius, and there aren't opportunities for you. So while I love Seattle, Seattle creates so many brilliant people like yourself and half the people in this room and all the people we know, but there aren't as many opportunities for us. So you create this genius and you don't create the outlets or the opportunities for it to flourish in this city. And that's a problem. And it was one that I lived. Like, I just kept hearing, not now, you're not in the right space, you're not the right fit. Like, you hear it in so many different ways. I kept a diary of how many times I was told no in this city. And my first yes was Urban Impact. And then after that, it was people saying, Atlanta got you. They'll help you. Atlanta will do right by you. It'll build community around you. They will open doors. They'll help you see what you're missing. They'll help teach you the roadmap. And I did that. And so me coming back after experiencing entrepreneurship in a city that celebrates people of color in entrepreneurship, I was coming back to say, like, no one else should have to leave Seattle to get the support they need. You shouldn't have to leave this city and go do entrepreneurship somewhere else just to be seen and supported. No. And that was part of the reason I came back to Urban Impact. Can I build what's missing? And let me tell you, I did all of my fundraising in pitch competitions. So after I won the pitch competition at Urban Impact, I didn't stop there. I kept pitching. And I realized some people are raising 6 figures in 5 minutes. I would like that on my name. Thank you. I want to raise 6-7 figures in less than 5 minutes for sure. I know a woman in Atlanta that raised $500,000 in 3 minutes. I mean, when you think about that, what it takes to really come together in such clarity and conciseness and confidence and be able to demonstrate how you are going to change the world or how the world's going to be better just by supporting you reaching this goal and launching this business, I felt like, if I'm going to do a pitch competition for Seattle, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to show Seattle what it should look like. This is what we should be doing monthly for entrepreneurship in this city. So US Bank was with it, my great sponsor.
Come on.
Elite was a sponsor too. And really the combination of everybody that came through and supported Venture Black, Debrina, all our judges, Mark Monroe, everybody that came really was invested in that same vision. We had a beautiful venue. And I've done so many pitch competitions. I just wanted to make it real for the entrepreneurs because they did the work.
Oh, yeah.
And because they did the work, they deserve that stage. They deserve that lighting. They deserve this whole elite collective setup just because they proved that regardless of where they come from, regardless of what their background is, they can absolutely tell the story and pitch and raise funding for their business. And they did. So it was an amazing experience.
I love that. And for folks that aren't familiar with the program, can you talk a little bit about the accelerator and what got them through to the point of being able to pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people have an idea. You got an idea, you come to Urban Impact, we help you through our programs. Well, the first accelerator that we do is called the Ignite Accelerator. That's igniting ideas. That's about turning them into action and creating a solid, scalable, thriving roadmap. So that not only do you have the foundation of your business solid, but you actually know how you're going to scale and continue to grow in that space and increase revenue. So we love that. And that's really taking it through the main steps that you need to have for all your business. A lot of people start businesses and then find out 5 years later they didn't have the most solid foundation, and it's a headache. Let's start it off right. We provide help from lawyers. We bring in experts, people who have done what you're trying to do. We bring in mentors. We do a lot. And then the next one after the Ignite Accelerator is the Sharks Precision Pitch. This is where you're going to learn to pitch your business. And that pitching does support you being on stage and raising funding. So yes to raising funding through pitching, but also because you've pitched and you know the most important aspects of your business, you can present to clients, you can talk to investors, you can reach out to angel investors. You can now really join a community of people where it's not a scary, unthinkable challenge to be able to talk about who you are, what you're building, what you need to make that successful, and how people can help you. So we want everybody to step out of the accelerators on that foot, where I can raise funding standing on a stage pitching. I feel comfortable talking to investors. I feel comfortable letting people know what my call to action is. I know what my financial projections are to achieve that 1 million my first year or 5 years, whatever that looks like. Like, you got to be the expert in whatever you're working on, and we provide, the tools to do that.
Well, that's amazing. And again, we had the privilege to be in space and help produce the live event.
Yes.
And that was multi-level. Can you talk a little bit about, and this is kind of where I like to share something for our folks watching, where they could be, and maybe it's not in pitching or economic development, but if you're working at an organization or you're on a team and you're doing some kind of event and you're ready to take it to that next level, what does that look like? What kind of things did you kind of realize in terms of where we were at and where we needed to go, and at what point it's like, hey, we can produce at this level internally. We need some partners to produce at that level. You talked about a U.S. bank who actually ended up providing the facility, which was a huge piece of that puzzle. But kind of talk through, what you were thinking in terms of, okay, I want to take it here. I'm ready to do it. And then these are the kind of the partners I need to help me get there.
Yeah, I would say relationships are everything. Even when we don't think they are. They are. Like, think about when you're young, how much time you spend on relationships and what kinds. Well, when you become an adult, I'm talking to my 19-year-old about this now. The level of relationships and the landscape of relationships is based on what you're spending your time and focus on. So if you only got ratchet fun friends, that's great. You got a ratchet filled fun life, but where's the balance in that? And so I knew coming back, I needed partners. I needed people who were going to invest in the vision. I needed people who also see what's missing, right? Who want this future for the city too. So I think what I can say about Seattle is, if only we all work together, right? If we take the genius that you're offering and what that person's offering and what that person's offering and actually put it at the same table where there's no competition, there's no concern about backbiting, like, we could actually transform this city just with the genius that sits in our community. But that does mean building relationships with people. That does mean letting them into your world. That does mean sharing your talents, your resources, and accepting what they have to offer too. It's a different mindset. Like, I will say, I'm born and raised in this city. I saw how the elders did it. I saw how my generation's doing it. But when I leave and go to other places in the South or different areas, you see more willingness for people to really work together. They're like, I'm on that. You on that? We all on that. We got you. We're doing this. And everybody's a part of that vision. In Seattle, it tends to be a little bit more siloed, right? And I think people are learning how important it is to combine, collaborate, and collectively work together to create something special. I see that in everything you're doing. I see that in other people in the city too, but those relationships are key. So US Bank was instrumental because they believe in that vision. They want to support entrepreneurs. They've done so much education for our entrepreneurs on your personal credit, your business credit, kind of like a 6-month pipeline, what you need to know to prepare to get a loan. They offer all that to our entrepreneurs, and we want that kind of education. Like financial literacy is a must.
It's huge, yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're 5, 10, 15 years behind. Like the time to get started
Today,
is now.
Hello. Today's
Yes,
a great day to start.
That's right. Amen. And then outside of that, we have a great board at Urban Impact, and I was able to just talk to community and other people to say, you know, I see what you've been doing in entrepreneurship for 20 plus years in this city. Here's my vision. Here's what I'm hoping we can do. Can we work together? Like it's not an ego thing. It's right. And I think it begins with, are you really willing to serve? Because that's what this is about. This isn't about Yolanda. Like, yes, I feel brilliantly born and raised in this city, but I'm not the only one. There's a ton of us. I'm not doing anything that I don't feel like other people in this city can't do. Like, we are all fully capable and doing it well. But it does make a more meaningful cause to sit down and do it together and determine that vision together. So it's not humbling to me to have to ask for help. I'm already humble. I'm gonna ask help. I'm gonna ask what you can do to support entrepreneurs too.
Come on.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's just not about me. And I wish we all could kind of see that. Like if we're serving entrepreneurs, we're serving our community, we're serving youth, we're serving future generations. Every act that we have now has a ripple effect, right? And so if we're willing to put these steps in and act now to make this city more supportive of diverse entrepreneurs, then 5 to 10 years from now, it's going to be a lot easier on the next generation. Some more doors will open. Maybe they'll hear less no's than what I heard.
Yeah, no, I love that. And exactly what you're talking about is kind of how I approached my journey in visual media, creative economy type stuff. Was hearing a lot of no's, and unfortunately also even from my own like elders in what I was looking up to that were already kind of doing it. Just like, you know, I think they felt more of a threat, right? And I look at it back now, and I'm like, man, if you guys would have just put me underneath your wing, I would have made you millions.
Yep.
But instead, I had to go around you. Now, it took me longer to get there.
Yeah, but you was going to get there regardless.
I was going to get there regardless.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody knows that, but future generations need to know that. Like, depending upon what city you're in and what kind of support and community you have around you, it can be easier. Relationships make it easier, but you going where you going regardless.
Yeah, that's what I said. The train was not gonna stop.
Yes.
But then like it was because of that though, like that literally put a chip on my shoulder and just made me kind of dive a little bit deeper. But I made a big thing about, well, I'm gonna open up a door. I'm gonna hold it for that next one. And I've had many iterations of folks that have come through. And it's funny because I'm just a very forward thinking, and it's not about like the praise, it's about just doing it.
That's right.
But then when I see someone I haven't seen in a while, it's like, oh man, you know, we had a great 3 years. And it's like, oh, Los, man, I'm doing this type of thing now. And from what you taught me, and I'm like, man, that's amazing, right? Yep. And for me, it was always about, hey, if it took me 2 years, I want you to do it in 1.5 years.
Real talk.
Right? If it took me 3, I want you to do it in 2, or whatever, you know, that scenario is.
Yep.
And it's just like, man, if more of us could just do that, right? But it's like you got to be the change you want to see.
Yeah, it's a mindset shift. And for our city, it's a big mindset shift because it's been rooted in not doing that for a significant amount of time.
Scarcity of resources. I mean, a lot of things lead to it. But it's like, for me, it's kind of like, all right, what happened. Yeah. Let's learn from. And move forward. Every decision we make forward, that's on us. Yeah. That can't be on situation or whatever. It's like, all right, let's show that we can be stronger together. We can go further together. Yeah. And that was, you know, again, it showed up in that space with all those entrepreneurs where it was dope to see all these Black and brown people that have all these different ideas, right? Yeah. So it wasn't like, oh, we're all just going to be
making hoodies,
right?
Yes.
And it's like, nah, we're gonna build communes in Costa Rica, and we're building socks, and we're doing this and that, and
some is solving problems in education. Come on. We got people in advocacy for disabled. Like we've got so many. It was
across the board, and we had the pleasure. So in that space, from our, again, I love to lead with this of pre-production. You need to do it.
That part.
And talking to you, being able to hear your vision of like what you wanted in this space, and some of it was also me pitching as well in terms of like I love what you guys are talking about, but I really feel like we need to capture these stories that are going to be told. And you guys obliged and allowed me to set up a little bit extra. So obviously,
oh no, it was a blessing. Wait, let's give you a round of applause because you didn't just show up with the basics. You showed up with it all. The event was amazing, but we were able to capture it because of you. That means something. That's like,
and I want to let people know my thinking behind that, right?
Yeah.
And part of it is like sometimes my clients and friends and guests, they don't see themselves as big as I see them.
Oh, wow.
So it's not me coming like, I want to push more stuff. Like, no, your idea is amazing. We need to get it here.
Wow.
And you're just not seeing it yet because, it's already amazing enough for you. And a lot of times it's better than what was, but it's like, oh, but it could be.
Okay, that whole thing you just said needs to somehow fit on a shirt. And that's what you should say to all of your clients because that's big.
Yeah, no, I just made that up. But that's that's what I'm thinking when I'm pitching it. And it's like, I think it can come off of like, oh, just extra stuff on a line item on an invoice. But like, no. I'm saying this because I have the cameras and I have awesome teammates that can do great things. And I'm like, your story or your production or your event, I see it so much bigger of what it could be. And that's another thing where we have, I've been able to be blessed to be on sets creating commercials with Tulalip Casino, right? Where we're doing very high-end things, multi-$1,000 productions and over multiple days and have access to fantastic stuff or doing, projects with Microsoft, Google, whatever, right? Where their budgets are kind of like whatever it needs to be in order to get the job done.
Yeah.
But then we come into community and it's like resources are so finite, right? And it's just like, for me, it's like, man, how can we get it there? Let me know what you have and we'll just throw it on there. But I know how brilliant, like you said, things could be. And I try my hardest to try to put as much into it as I can as possible. One thing I always say is like, I can't spend my people's time, but equipment-wise and other things that we can bring to the table. So say all that to say this is your event, hearing about it, I already knew it was going to be dope. Our main thing was like, hey, let's capture this. Like it was almost like a TV show, right? We're going to have multiple cameras. We're going to record good audio. It's going to be a great experience in room. Because that's another thing too. If like you want it to really hit, you have to have it be a good experience. So we had professional audio, brought in some lighting because again, we're dealing with our melanated people. Lighting is one of those things that a lot of folks forget about. It's like, we got to make sure our people is looking good if we're going to be recording it. And then had a multi-camera thing, and then had our team members going through getting an event recap. Like, it's not just a thing to put a camera in the back. It's like, no, we want a tight, we want a wide, we want some movement, and be able to create a production around that. But then it was like, okay, this is in the room right here, but they all got stories, right? So I was like, I have a question. I have a curiosity of sorts of what if we set up an interview station where people could talk about their experience and their this and their that. And one, it'd be great for them as that entrepreneur to have some of that for them to be able to show and talk about their product, service, etc. But then also you guys as the community partner that helped steward this whole thing, you need to have those testimonials, that story to be able to help you guys get more funding or show this proof of concept to allow your potential donors to double down and reinvest into you. So then again, you can pour back into community. So a lot of it, again, it's like, oh man, that great thing happened. I wish we would have captured it better, right? And how many times does that happen? And then come back to, end of year when you got to send in reports and stuff like, oh, I wish we would have had that. And I hear that so much. So I'm always like, man, hit us up early. I want to be at your April event, not just your gala or your whatever. How can we help capture that story throughout? So this was that opportunity where we had to do interviews. We had a step and repeat because, again, branding, right? So you had all their people with their folks, you had talked about how you went through with your daughters through your experience, and it was great to see them with their families and their supporters and their friends, and they could take pictures and feel like they was important because they were, and they're able to do that, and so all of that got thrown into this package, and we ended up creating the impact video that you've seen. But I love if we could throw it up again and watch it again and be able to kind of rehash that, be able to because sometimes again we're moving forward and it's like you go back and watch it. Side note, I just rewatched my wedding video from 2020.
Oh.
A friend of mine was like, hey, do you guys do weddings? Like, oh, yeah. And I put it up like, dang, that was a dope wedding. And again, not just because it was mine, but I brought my whole team down. Like, we brought down the
Yeah.
photo booths, photo, video, drone. So it was
Wow.
supposed to be the start of our whole journey of like, hey, we're going to do high-end weddings. We went down to Mexico, brought the team down February 20th, 2020.
Wow.
So like literally 2 weeks later, the world shuts down
What? I know.
with COVID.
Oh my
So we did
gosh.
that and we had the video, and then it was like, but no one
If there was
can do
ever a
anything.
way to prepare for
Right.
an epidemic, that would be it.
Right. So we got it done, but then we kind of lost the momentum because no one was having weddings for
Of
that whole year
course.
or whatnot.
Yeah.
But that just reminded me. So it goes back to this video here where it's like, sometimes, it was May 28th. Let's take it back and watch it again and then
Yep.
like allow ourselves to relive it. Can I play that video? All right, dope.
Wow.
That's
No,
tough.
what I love about that video is so while the people who are organizing the event, putting it on, you're in go mode.
Right.
You don't even get to see
Anything.
what's taking
Right.
place.
You're just things are happening. You're putting, I mean,
Yeah.
not necessarily. That actually event went pretty smooth, if I would say.
Thank you.
But I usually call it like you're putting out fires. You're just kind of
Yeah.
making sure everything's happening. People are where they need to be. And
So you were in the room mostly, so I'm glad that you saw it went smooth because in other places it was not all the way smooth.
Right.
Much like all events, there's things you don't anticipate or see coming.
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, but what you guys caught was the impact. That's what really hits different is when I see it through your lens, when I see it through Elite Collective's lens, I'm seeing the impact of what it did for people. Again, still not about Yolanda. It's about them, what it meant to them to stand on that stage, what it meant to them to
Those
share
smiles,
their story.
ear to ear.
Every single person that you saw with that microphone on that stage was like levitating
Yeah.
and really living out their most audacious dream because none of them thought they could do it. Like not a single entrepreneur walking into it was like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'll be able to do it. Everybody deals with doubt. Everybody deals with imposter syndrome. Everybody believes that their idea is amazing. But in that situation, it's daunting to have to stand on a stage in a time period. So when you heard the vision we were trying to create, what I think is Elite Collective, Carlos Imani sees impact. And so you helped us create that impact. And I wouldn't have been able to see it if you hadn't have been there capturing and preserving and documenting it all. So thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Much appreciated. And I mean, those are our goals, right? Like literally, it's in our tagline of elevate, amplify, and engage. And
Check, check, and check.
And this was an event where we got to do a little bit of everything, right? Where we
Yes.
want to elevate those live and hybrid events. We want to
Yeah.
amplify stories and storytelling, and we want to engage with community and in space. And
Yep.
we literally had the photo booth on the red carpet with the
Yep.
background. We had the interviews. We had the live AV, and my like literally at its core is just bringing your vision to fruition, right? For us, I mean, you had mentioned a little bit earlier about ego, and that was one thing that I think has allowed me to reach successes that I have is just taking ego out of it.
Yeah.
Like, as a creator, I mean, there's personal projects that I am very invested in terms of my
course.
ego on that as a creative, but a lot of things when engaging with clients and community, you got to take your ego out of it. And it's just a
Yeah.
matter of like, how can I help them be seen? And how can I take them to their highest potential?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, where it wasn't about pitching, line items. It was about, really elevating the event. Like I see where it could go.
Yeah.
And, take my hand. Let's go there together.
Yes, and we did that. We
Yeah,
did.
no,
We
and
went
it,
there.
and it was dope. And I've been seeing and hearing vicariously. If you would like to even share, this would be a great time of some of the stuff that some of the entrepreneurs have shared with you in terms of testimonials. I was talking to Steve at yesterday's meeting, and he was just like, man, I'm just seeing and hearing just great things from that event of their
Yeah.
experience. If
Yeah.
you'd like to share some of that.
Oh man, I can say that we had a blind man pitch on stage and talk about the future. The fly blind guy
blind man. Come on.
pitch on stage and take first place just by talking about the future he's building to share his story and develop more advocacy in the city. Powerful. You have Mayette Delilah, who's building international spaces for us to explore our culture and step away from the grit and grind of every day. You got Ronica, who's taking care of creating tools for dyslexia and supporting parents and schools in developing solid plans and roadmaps that support students learning beyond their challenges. You've got Cherie Booker, who's created some hair products that even I use that is transforming these locks, honey.
Come on.
And there's just so many. You have Frederick, who owns sports and is so deeply ingrained and invested in helping people achieve their top athletic status. There is so many entrepreneurs. Miss Pat, who is creating a substitute for sugar that doesn't have the horrible taste and all the chemicals in it. And she's going to transform the beverage and food industry with that. I mean, everybody that really came and showed up, and there was 10 times more, right? So not everybody made it to the last round of pitching, but I mean, even people from the jump, like Taco's doing a really great 501c3 for young people to help build their confidence and see themselves in the beauty industry in a new way. And there are so many entrepreneurs that even a tequila business, a brewery, like people are bringing their most audacious dreams because they feel like it's a safe space to approach that concept and build something more. So
what you're saying, there's a pipeline.
There is.
And they come in.
They come in.
I love it. I love it. So that could bring us right back into like kind of what's next in terms of the entrepreneurial programming. We got a full summer of events. I hear you guys are tabling everywhere. Tell me a little bit about what that kind of journey looks like for the rest of this year.
Well, we got a lot of entrepreneurs reaching out to us saying, how do we pitch? So I would say an initiative that I think is really important is getting the city to support monthly pitch competitions. And it shouldn't be as difficult to raise 25, 50K to support entrepreneurs because it's not about a prize. It's about investing in people and their ideas so they can build their business. And most entrepreneurs don't have a family and friends around. So that funding has to be supported in a variety of ways. So we want to continue to work with this city to organize a monthly pitch competition so that monthly entrepreneurs can stand up, pitch their ideas, and win funding for their business. We are continuing the accelerators. So this fall, we'll be launching first some CEO fireside chats, people like Molly Moon and other amazing CEOs in this city. Yes, willing to share their story, willing to share the grit and grind and the grace that was needed to get where they are, because from the outside looking in, everybody thinks it's so easy. I know, Carlos. Everybody looks at Elite Collective and they think it's so easy. Right. This must be so easy. We don't often see the grind that's taking place, and there needs to be safe spaces where people can share that story and entrepreneurs can ask the question, right? Because it's one thing to build the roadmap for your business and build a solid brand, but what are you doing between then and closing customers? Like there's still the other action after building the roadmap. You have to close customers, and that's another journey that you have to begin. So I know entrepreneurship is an ongoing journey and there's levels to this. So we want to support on every level. So if you have an idea, the Ignite accelerators are in January, but we have a number of workshop series that we do before then. We have somebody teaching how to raise capital. Like, what is the process of actually working with investors and angel investors and raising funding in that way? So we want to discover the different kind of ways of fundraising. And then the Sharks Pitch Accelerator will take place in the winter, right after the Ignite Accelerator, where we'll be lining people up for the same pitch competition in May. Already booking Elite Collective now for that.
I love
So y'all gonna have to find a different date because that's ours. And like lots of workshop series, lots of opportunities for mixers. And we're opening the door for more experts and mentors to come and share what you have learned and actively done in your business and how that can support another entrepreneur. And then we have tons of entrepreneurs in the food, beverage industry. So we want to be working on finding commercial kitchens to help them really get their product out there.
No, I love that. And I love how you answer like 9 of my questions in one. Fantastic. Just to expand a little bit, one of my next ones was just kind of more of how people can support or get involved in terms of like if they do want to be a mentor or, hey, you know, my organization wants to help with funding or any of those kinds of things. Let's split it up into how's it best for those types of folks to get in touch with you, and then we'll talk about how do people get into the program if they are an entrepreneur themselves.
Yes. Okay. So first and foremost, if you're looking,
Call me.
yes, that part. If you are an expert or a mentor and want to share more information about the entrepreneur journey with new entrepreneurs, we welcome that. So please reach out to me at ybarton at urbanimpactseattle.org. And if you are just looking to volunteer and want to support and be a part of this, we welcome that too. Even if you aren't familiar with what it's like to work with diverse people, let alone entrepreneurs, like what would you like to offer? What information can you share? And how can we help you feel comfortable in an environment that's new to you that allows you to see the impact that you're having by sharing information? So, you know, that's really important.
And it's from all angles, right? Because some people might not realize, oh, I am a part of the entrepreneurial journey, but that could be legal,
Yep.
right? That could be accounting,
Yeah.
that could be branding,
It could be
marketing,
all of the above. Yeah.
all the things, right? Financial,
Yep.
insurance, you know, all those kinds of things. So if that's something and that's in your heart to serve, this is a great org and a great thing that they're doing over here at Economic Development.
We have some
Urban
lawyers
Impact.
doing a legal clinic in September. We're about to start sharing that. So if you have an idea and you want to start with like, what's my entity? What do I need bylaws? Like what kind of paperwork do I need to be securing to help make sure that my entity has a really solid foundation? So we're always going to be starting there. And then we're doing a youth entrepreneurship program.
Love it. Start them young.
Yeah, where they can have some mentors. We got a lot of young people that want to do hoodies. Okay, well, if hoodies is your thing, let's also walk through the financial literacy and the information you need to be successful entrepreneurs making your dreams come true.
I love it. And then for the entrepreneurs, how do they get involved?
Yes, so go to our website at Urban Impact Seattle. Email us, econdev at urbanimpactseattle.org or ybarton at urbanimpactseattle.org. Applications will be going out in September and December for different programs, and we'll always have them on our website. But every time we have free events, come, because that's giving you a chance to network with other entrepreneurs. And what I continuously hear from our entrepreneurs is it's not just the program, it's the community. Entrepreneurship can be a really lonely place if you're doing it alone, and it can be stressful and it can create tension, and you need people to help sort of explore opportunities, and opportunities come to you by being a part of community. So more doors open. And so, you know, get involved in all the free workshops and the series and the opportunities that we're having. And then the accelerator start in January, but we've got quite a few programs starting in September. We're also doing some podcasting for entrepreneurs and building a podcast, group. And we're going to be using some of Carlos to help teach some of that. So entrepreneurs need to learn how to do a podcast to share the story of themselves and their business and create more conversation. So there's so much going on.
So much.
Yes.
I love it. And that brings us to our quick fire round. I like to ask a couple questions and just get some quick
okay, let me get ready for
answers.
This. Yes.
And after that, I'm gonna go into some bonus content as well. But I want to kind of end it with this one. What was your favorite pitch moment of the night?
Oh, not my pitch. Okay, so the pitch for Urban Impact, the favorite pitch moment.
So it could be a pitch or it could be a moment of the night that just, it just stuck with you.
I think when the judge did the mic drop and then Melvin did the mic drop, that was pretty amazing. Like, to see that nothing else needed to be said, and to have that response from the judges. And I think because I knew how much Melvin had to do twice as hard as the other entrepreneurs just to get to that place to pitch, because he couldn't write out his pitch and read it over and over again like everybody else. He had to completely rely on his memory, and it was hard. But when he and the judge dropped the mic, that was reaffirming. That was dope.
Yeah, I would say though, it hurt my heart during that part because they dropped the mic, and mics are sensitive pieces of equipment and get damaged, and they don't work as well.
Next time we'll have somebody there to catch it.
The moment itself was amazing.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
What was the best thing you ate or drank at the event?
Oh, we had Taste of India.
Come on.
And they
Butter
always do
chicken.
such an amazing job. Unfortunately, nobody that worked like myself, we didn't get to eat anything, but we saw how beautiful it all looked, and everybody was talking about how amazing it was. So that was amazing.
I took some home. It was delicious.
Okay, awesome. Yes.
What's a business idea you'd pitch just for fun?
I think about this all the time. Okay. I can't believe I'm telling you this. Okay, so I am building a lot of arches and doing floral arrangements on them for weddings and for other things, and I can't stop doing it. Like, I'm in love with it. It's
Right.
just such a beautiful space. So I think it would be rentals for like wedding, birthday, and anniversary, or big floral arrangements, arches, centerpieces.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All of that. Don't make me pull out my phone on my
say
latest piece.
Right? We should talk some. I have a little bit of a photo booth business that deals with those a lot.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we can talk more on that.
Okay, but now I got to show you. Here's my latest one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dope. We had a similar one at our wedding in Mexico. I love that shape.
Yes.
What's one word to describe that vibe in that room that night?
Otherworldly. That's not even the right word. It was inspiring. There was everything about that event was inspiring, from the people who were in the audience actually applauding it. I'm inspired by them. Like, I know that's not things that people think of, but how many people showed up just to applaud
it was
those
a full room,
entrepreneurs?
for sure.
That was inspiring. The judges were inspiring. I just saw a whole bunch of trailblazing left and right in that space, and we just need more of that.
I love
It
it.
needs to be a monthly event.
Come on, monthly. What's something people never see about producing events like this?
Oh, the work.
Come
I
on.
mean,
It doesn't just happen?
you mean
You don't just
snap
walk in?
that whole genie thing? That don't
Twinkle
work.
your nose?
No, that don't work. It's so a lot of people don't know my background in
Come on.
events.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah,
But it made sense.
I graduated from UW in my undergrad, and then I worked for Mayor Greg Nichols doing like responsible for his outreach events, which means you had to know everything he was doing from the minute he was getting out of that car and when you were pulling him to get back in. Like, you had to know every last detail. So then when that ended, I went and did one reel. We did Summer Nights at the Pier, Family 4th of July at Gasworks, Bumper Shoot. And then Steve Sneed took me for the Festall, and we were doing festivals and McCaw Hall's opening, Intimon Theater. So my background was in events. I don't tell people that. A lot of people don't know that. It was like a whole nother lifetime ago. But for me, you have to visualize every aspect of the event from the time someone is walking in. What are they seeing? What are they experiencing? What are they envisioning? So from, when we were putting out the programs, I needed an orchid there. Like every
Right. Gotta have that
detail
orchid.
that you have to have.
Why would it not have an orchid?
Right, exactly. From like the way your tablecloth is positioned, for the branding and logo to be seen a certain way. Thank you guys for designing those too. And I mean, it's just, you have to see everything that could happen, might happen, and if it could happen, you should plan on it happening.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be A, B's, and C's. And everybody just thinks, well, doesn't this just come together? No. It's work.
Time, dedication.
The pre and the post is more of the event than people think it is.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. No, that's dope. And I appreciate that you know and appreciate that, because a lot of times people, again, just think it just happens, and there's so much that goes into it.
It does not just,
From coordinating, vendors and all those kinds of things.
What I will say is the people who, you can always tell the type of person who's organized the event if they thought it was just going to come together, on its own. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? As
Oh, yeah.
someone now sitting in a seat at an event, you're very clear.
Oh, big time. Like, oh, you guys didn't care about this at all.
And there was no thought process around this, and you didn't even think to, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? So like
right.
you see it now. You know what people are putting into it based on you sitting in that seat and what you're experiencing.
No, I love it. So we covered a bunch. I just want to see if there's any last little things that you want to say or share. You have your camera over here if you want to look in and talk to the people.
Yeah.
And yeah, just feel free to take a moment.
Oh wow, I didn't plan anything. I will say it is not easy to be an entrepreneur, right? In the same way that like when you first graduated high school and you decided I'm going to go to college, nobody woke you up to go to class. Nobody made sure you did your homework. With entrepreneurship, this is really all on you. Like nothing is occurring without you creating it. And so are you ready to create it is really the question. And are you willing to put in 10 times more work than what you've had to put in for someone else, but also experience the full results of that, right? Like you can actually experience what comes from 10 times more work. And I got to a point where I just saw what I was bringing was making a lot of money for other people, right? And there's a space to learn in there and grow too, but at what point are you willing to invest in yourself? And what point are you willing to put that energy into you and the future generations coming from you? Because I'm really clear that we all want to pass things down. Like everybody wants a legacy. Everybody wants to leave a legacy. So if you want to explore what entrepreneurship could look like for you, check out Urban Impact and all the various other organizations in this city that are working to support Black and brown entrepreneurs. If you are an investor and you're willing to take the first step in supporting entrepreneurs that don't get much access, but are very deserving and worthy of the return that you and them will get by investing in them, now's the time. And we're happy to help create relationships and more opportunities for you to engage with those entrepreneurs. And to everybody, I'll just say, I'm still an entrepreneur, which means my grind every day is what I'm working on in addition to supporting entrepreneurs. So I'm an entrepreneur supporting entrepreneurs, and I welcome the support for my entrepreneurship journey too. I'm still the CEO and founder of Revere XR. We use virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence to recreate history and bring it to life. We do demos around this city. We preserve history throughout this city. We're collecting and preserving history from elders in this city, and Seattle has a lot of sacred stories that need to be preserved beyond just storytelling verbally. We should experience it. We should interact with it. So if you're interested in learning more about the future of historic preservation, I got you on that too. Awesome. Check out our website, reverexr.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you,
as
Carlos.
always.
Thank you for seeing us.
Long time coming, right?
Yes, already overdue. Just met and already overdue. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, thank you for sitting down. I'm sure we're probably have part 2, 3, 4, and 5 down the road. But
yes.
we gotta start somewhere. So thank you for
and thank you for showing up and supporting the way you did, because you're right. Everybody dealing with those events has line item budgets and all kinds of stuff that we have to adhere to. That makes it more stressful. But the fact that you saw the vision and what you could do for it and then turn around and did, like, hands down, whenever the next event is, we're booking that. We're booking Elite Collective for everyone.
No, I appreciate that. I always tell people too, it's like, now understand that I'm doing this so that you can get to the level that you can afford me, and I'm expensive.
Yes,
but
you should
we gotta
be.
get there,
yes.
right? And again, it's me planting seeds, right?
And you deserve every dime, and you're already still cutting a deal just because of how genius you are. Like, just by doing it, people are going to be blessed for that work. So thank you for the blessing to Urban Impact. Urban Impact respects it. And of course, we want to support your entrepreneurship and what you're doing too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Appreciate that.
Although you could teach a class.
Come on.
You could
there's a lot of things coming. I'm sure. Steve is definitely looking to put us to work.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, thanks again for checking in with us. Be sure to check out the description below. We're going to have some links to contact information with Yolanda and Urban Impact. So folks that want to get involved from the mentorship level, from the giving level, from the supporting level, as well as entrepreneurs. Are you looking to get some training, some resources? They have a bunch of free workshops and events throughout the year, as well as their actual programs and their pitch competition itself. So, check that out. Hit a like, hit a share, shake a hand, kiss a baby, and we'll check you guys out next time.
For sure.